Again, welcome. Once again, we're excited to gather today to acknowledge another great class of athletes and a coach to our Hill Murray Athletic Hall of Fame. It's quite an honor. It's hard to believe we're in our 14th year. Started in inaugural in 2011, and here we are. For those that I have not met, I'm Bill Lechner. 5 years, mostly retired as athletic director of Hill Murray, and currently still the boys' head hockey coach, boys. With that said, it's an honor and a pleasure to be able to attend such a distinguished group, so responsible for the traditions of Hill, Archbishop Murray, and Hill Murray School. Quite a gathering, and it's really cool to see all you guys and get to know some more people. Before we begin our presentation to induct the 2025 class, Melissa Dan.
Thanks, Bill. For those of you I haven't met, my name is Melissa Dan, and I have the honor of serving as the president of Hill Murray. This has been such an incredible weekend. I got to meet many of you for the first time at the football game on Friday, which we won and beat South St. Paul. And it's been an incredible weekend. The weather, we've had reunions, there's so many things going on. And you know, the sign of a healthy community is that people want to keep coming back to it. And that is Hill Murray, and we were at the 1975 reunion last night with these incredible people. And I think now more than ever in this world, our students need us as educators to guide them on their path, and the world needs our students now more than ever. So again, thank you for being here. It's such an honor to hear about the inductees and their stories, and we look forward to honoring you today.
Okay.
And
on behalf of Hill Murray School, I'd like to first welcome and acknowledge our past inductees who were able to attend today. Quite a few, which is great. So if you would please stand, and we can applaud at the very end for all of them, if that's all right. And hope we don't miss anybody. And we'll start with the newest. So from the 2024 inductees, we have Mark Klausner, Mike Roth, and Tim Ryan. From 2020, if you'll please stand and stay standing, thank you. 2022 inductees, Tim Whistler and Tess Rizzardi. From 2021, we have Vince Conway and Rod Romanchuk. Rod had to leave to get to Chicago, but he was here this morning. From 2018, we have Connie Hain-Korf. From 2017, Steve Romanchuk. From 2016, Tom Kinsella, John Heller, and Barry Persby. From 2015, Les Larson and Jim Wold. From 2014, Jack Reif. From 2013, we have Monica Hilger. From 2012, we have Bill Wold and Barb Klein Anderson. And then the inaugural class of 2011, when we first got the program going, obviously, and we were very excited at that time, Tracy Schultz-Warner and Brother Francis Carr and Rypeck. These are all the inductees that are here today. Thank you very much. It's quite a crew of athletes and student athletes back in the day. We were very proud of them. I would also like to recognize the Hall of Fame Selection Committee, and we'll just keep it real basic, but the committee is made up of a group basically of teachers, coaches, athletic department administrators in the past and present. The group is Aaron Herman, Judy Hilo-Schwartz, John Heller, Vince Conway, John Pohl, and myself. So, and then as I mentioned, kind of goofing around with Father Utek on the back, if you do have somebody you'd like to nominate, take the program with you, and it'll tell you how to do that on the back. Okay. We'd also like to welcome our Hill Murray community of students, alumni, friends, and families who are in attendance today. It's great to see you all. Last but not least, we welcome teachers, administrators, and coaches, both past and present. Okay, now we're here, the program. Okay, we'll start with, we're going to go our most mature down to our youngest. Oh, wait a minute, I got to get a different one. Okay, our first inductee. I apologize, I knew it was close. Didn't used to need these. Our first inductee, 1969 graduate of Hill High School, 3-year varsity football letter winner, sophomore year conference champion, junior year all-conference honorable mention, senior year captain, all-metro and all-state honors, named to Hill High School all-time football team, 3-year varsity letter winner in wrestling, junior and senior year conference champions, junior year team finished second in the state, junior year individual second in the state, senior year individual first in regions and third in state, 2-year varsity letter winner in baseball, junior year conference champs and second in state, senior year all conference, senior year voted best athlete, played on 4 championship teams, 1 football, 2 wrestling, and 1 baseball. I don't know how he got in. No, congratulations, seriously, Dave Zarambinski.
Well, let me start out by congratulating my fellow inductees and my very good friend, John Shields. John and I first met on the football field as freshmen. 4 years later, we were inducted into, we were elected co-captains. Now, 61 years after we met, here we are being inducted into the Hill Murray Athletic Hall of Fame together. Who would ever guessed? Thank you, Bill, Judy, and everyone else on the committee for all the work you put into this to make it a success year after year. I might not be standing here today if it wasn't for a special group of teachers, coaches, and teammates. Coaches Sullivan, Strong, Stoltz, Ackerson, Ludwig, Maurer, just to name a few. Brother Francis, Brother Arnold, who's not here today. In their own way, they challenged me, they encouraged me, they motivated me, they supported me, they pushed me, and mostly, they treated me fairly. Thank you all for what you did for me at the 4 years I was at Hill. Thanks to my friends and former teammates for your support today. To my family, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews. Thanks for being here today. It means a bunch to me. Don't want to forget 2 sisters that are here in spirit, Mary Kay and Terry. At the ripe old age of 13, I just graduated from grade school and thought I knew it all. Didn't we all at that age? It was time to tell my dad where I wanted to go to high school. This was a very short conversation. Both schools I suggested got a very firm no, and one of them was a Catholic high school, so that surprised me. So my question was to my dad, where am I going to school? And he says, there's a school out in Maplewood called Hill High School. It's taught by the Christian Brothers, and they're going to keep your butt in line. Now, that wasn't my dad's exact words, though. Use your imagination and you'll figure it out. To my dad, you were supportive of all my endeavors most of the time. You always did what you thought was best for me, and it usually worked out. Because of you, I was a pioneer. Thank you, Dad. Going into my senior year, Coach Sullivan made a position change for me. I was moved from an offensive lineman to a running back. Why, I don't know, but I was. One day at practice, the office was running plays from the playbook. There was no tackling, no contact. We were just working on our assignments and timing for each play. I was noted for trying to run people over, not around them. It's just the way I played the game. So Coach Maurer comes up to me and he says, this is a good time to practice some moves to get around people instead of running through them. So he said, someday you're going to meet your match, so practice your moves and try to avoid those hits. The next play I was given the ball, and as I was coming up on a defensive back, I tried to put a move on. You all know what happened? I tripped and fell flat on my face. You could hear Coach Maurer in the background saying, only Mr. All-American Chalkline can bring down Zarambinski. I returned to the huddle. Coach Maurer says to me, please, just continue to run people over with. before you hurt yourself trying any more practice moves. That day I met my match. His name was Mr. All-American Chalkline. Everyone knew when she was in the stands, which was almost always. She was the loudest and most animated of them all. She was my biggest supporter. She was a superstar for many reasons. She was my mom. I was in a wrestling match at Hill Murray my senior year. I was losing by 1 point with about 30 seconds left in the match. I made a move to switch positions with my opponent, but he stopped me halfway through the move. We now are in a stalemate. Seconds are running off the clock and somebody or something had to give. The home fans were going a little crazy, yelling, "Go, go, go," try to give me that extra push. I happened to be in a position that I could see the crowd, and I saw my mom standing, jumping, yelling, "Go, go, go," with everyone else. I gave it everything I had, and at the last second, as the clock hit 0, I reversed my position. I was awarded 2 points, and I won the match. The credit for that win goes to my mom and the fans at that match that day. Miss you, Mom. One last memory, and I'll get out of your hair here. Because of a knee injury my senior year, I only played 2.5 games, one being the last game of the year, which was against our arch rival, Cretin High School. A week before the game, Coach Sullivan comes up to me and he says, "How would you like to play in this game coming up? Do you think you can do it?" And I said, "I'd love to give it a try." I was nowhere near 100%, but Sully says, "Here's the deal. We'll tape you up so you can play, but if you can't stop this all-state running back they had, we'll have to pull you." Long story short, my teammates and I totally shut him down. He was never a factor in the game. The team was ecstatic. This was only the second time in the school's history we beat Cretin. What a way to end the season. One last thing here. Just want to let everybody know how very proud and deeply honored I am that I can always say I'll be a part of this elite club, the Hill Murray Athletic Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Our next inductee, 1969 graduate of Hill High School, 4-year participant in football, 2 years varsity letter winner, senior year all-conference honorable mention, senior year captain, helping lead to a 7-2 record, 4-year participant in hockey, 3 years varsity letter winner, senior year all-conference honorable mention, all-state tournament team, 3 state tournament appearances in 1969, state tournament runner-up, senior year Hill High School Co-Athlete of the Year Award, 4-year honor roll, and 3-year National Honor Society. See, we do have student athletes here, too. Voted most respected by his senior class, attended Mankato State University, played 2 years of hockey. John Shields.
Thank you, Bill. I know a lot of people here, and everybody knows me as a man of very few words. I hate to tell you, but not today. And speaking of that, Czar, also known as Dave Zarambinski, who just talked, we were at the football game Friday, the homecoming game against South St. Paul. And before we went out on the field at halftime, some people were talking to us about the Hall of Fame thing today. Yeah, that's us. And they said, "Well, wait a minute, aren't you guys really, really old? You're like way older than everybody else." We said, "Yes, we are, but I would like to clarify something and clean up some misinformation. We graduated in 1969. It was not 1869. Anyway, I would like to thank the committee for this great honor. I would have to say it caught me by surprise a little bit after all of these years. It's been a very long time. It is greatly appreciated. Also, I'd like to thank my immediate family over here who came today, my beautiful wife, Linda, daughter Gina, and her husband, Bernie. son Joel, son David, and his wife Allie. And the two grandkids that could make it today, Billy and Liddy Shields. Thank you very much. I also have three grandkids that were away at college and couldn't make it. And I kind of did the math a little bit, added up. Between the three of them, they're only 8,000 miles away from here. So I don't know why they didn't come, but they couldn't make it. At any rate, really appreciate it. Also, a quick shout out to my mom and dad who put three boys through Hill High School and three girls through Archbishop Murray. My sister Peggy, being the oldest sister, went to Archbishop Murray. And they really did a lot of sacrifice back in the day. This is a long, long time ago, but thank you very much. That being said, I would like to, a couple things as far as my personal experience. This is all my opinion, but of all the experiences in life, and I'm talking about grade school, I'm talking about high school, I'm talking about college, the thing that had the biggest impact on my future life was my time at Hill. And I'll kind of split that into two different areas. First of all, in the area of academics, for me, when I got to college, I thought it was relatively easy. I thought that high school might have been even a little bit harder. I learned two basic principles at Hill on the academic side. One was time management, and the other one was learning how to learn, which I think is a key to success. As an example, in time management, we had practice for football and hockey immediately after school. After that, we went home, either hitchhiked or we got a ride, or sometimes we walked, whatever worked that day. Sat down with the family, had dinner at 6 o'clock, and after that, it was, for me, immediately up to my attic, where I did my homework for 2.5 or 3 hours every night. So when I got to college, we all know in college it's kind of, you're on your own, but I was already used to it. As a case in point, Brother Martin, who's now deceased, I had for chemistry here at Hill. And when I got to college, I had to take chemistry again. I was able to get an A easily in chemistry, but not only that, I was able to tutor at least a half a dozen of our very good friends, getting them through chemistry, and there would have been no way they could have done it, all because of my experience with Brother Martin at Hill. Brother Francis, who is here today, was always a positive influence, and I think one of his best traits is he always knew when to turn his eye a little bit, look away for a minute or two when nothing important was going to happen. Brother Arnold could have taught algebra to first graders. He was that good. And another teacher I had, which would be maybe kind of surprising, but I'd like to talk about for a second, is Bob Sullivan. You always think of Bob Sullivan as the football coach, and he was, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I had him in the junior year, I think it was English, or it might have been social studies or whatever. But he told the story of the pendulum, and many people, I still believe this today because I saw it. And it was really about, it was about society in general, or perhaps politics, and we were, of course, oblivious at that age, 15, 16-year-old kids. But he talked about the pendulum, and what it was about is he said, here's what's going to happen, here's what happens in life. Things get too conservative and the pendulum goes way up over here, and then it gets a little bit too far and it swings back over here, goes the other way, and now it's getting too liberal, and then it swings back over here and it becomes too conservative again. Well, in my experience in the past 60 years or whatever it is, I found this to be true every decade or every decade and a half. That pendulum is going to go from one side to the other. It's just something that's stuck with me my entire life. So academics at Hill were very important to me, but I would have to say that athletics were the biggest influence on my future. I believe that athletics are a pure mirror of future life. And why do I say that? It's really because of the lessons we learn in athletics, in my opinion. So lesson 1, hard work beats pure talent every time. Lesson 2, when you lose, and it's going to happen, you're going to strike out, you're going to fumble the ball, you're going to lose a game you shouldn't. You can't cry about it. You got to get back on your horse, work harder, and do it right the next time. Lesson 3, life is not always fair. Refs sometimes get it wrong. Sometimes it's unintentional, sometimes it might be a little bit intentional. You can't whine about it. You've got to get back and figure out a way to overcome it. Fourth lesson is preparation and execution of the game plan helps success, and that is true in anything, athletics, business, it doesn't make any difference. A plan always helps. Lesson 5, a good team is greater than the sum of its individuals. Lesson 6, when you toil in the trenches, working hard with your teammates, you become lifelong friends. As an example, 4 of us here, there are 5 of us that played football senior year in high school that are going to Florida next month for golf. We've done that same trip now for 15 consecutive years, and we're lifelong friends, see the family during the year, whatever. So that would be true. And lesson 7 is leadership is by example, it is not by words. So those are just a few of the lessons I learned which were critical in the business world in particular, but also in life in general. I would like to take a minute here to tell 2 stories. First story involves Joe Souchere. Joe Souchere, you might have heard of, is a writer, and he's currently writing for the St. Paul paper. Well, Joe was 2 years older than I was, so as a freshman, I was in hockey, played on the B squad. I think they call that the JV today. I think that's roughly the equivalent. Anyway, I was playing on the B squad hockey team, and one day Coach John Boland called me into his office and said, "You're going to play with the varsity today in the hockey game versus Montemita. So what I need you to do is hunt down Joe Souchere and tell him you need his jersey to play in this game." So I don't want to have 14 or 15 years old, whatever it happened to be. I hunted him down. I found him in the Hill locker room. And the Hill locker room, for everybody that played there, has got a coach's office with some glass on it. And immediately next to that, there's a square of 4 sets of lockers. I do not remember what I said, but I found him next to his locker, asked him what I had to ask him. All I remember is his right arm going up into that upper locker on the left-hand side, grabbing that jersey and poof, throw it on the floor. So all of a sudden, I'm looking down at number 14. That's the only thing I remember about. I don't remember the game, but I do remember that still to this day. Story number 2 would also involve hockey. In hockey, 3 years of varsity, we always played in Duluth every year, and every year we took the train. Well, senior year, the state tournament was in Duluth, so as always, we took the train. We got to Duluth, we won our first game, we won our second game, so we made it to the championship game. In the championship game, we played Duluth Cathedral, and we lost, so we came in second. But I was fortunate enough to be voted to the all state tournament, or whatever they call it, team, so the 12 of us, and for that, we got a trophy, about 12 inches tall, I think, something like that. And it had a hockey player on the top of it with a flimsy little hockey stick. Well, I couldn't take that trophy with me on my way, put it in a suitcase to get on the train to come home, so I had to carry it on the train. And on the train, somebody came up to me called Rose Conway, right there, and asked me if she could see the trophy. Well, I said, sure. So I gave her the trophy, she put it in her hand, and immediately threw it on the floor of the train and broke it. No. That's a lie. Somehow or other, it accidentally dropped. Anyway, the hockey stick was broken. I wouldn't even mention it, but I would say this: of all the trophies I ever got in athletics, that is by far my favorite. I run across that trophy about once every 5 years. I walk by it, I look at it, I smile, I laugh. It is the best. So that would be that story. A quick shout out to coaches I had at Hill. First of all, for hockey, my first 2 years, freshman and sophomore, was John Boland. I already mentioned the biggest thing he did for me is made me a little tougher by talking to Souchere, perhaps. Bob Sullivan was the football coach, and in my opinion, he was the best high school football coach in the state of Minnesota. And I say that for a few different reasons. He was very, very good at the X's and O's. We had a great offense. We had a great defense. For those of you who played back in that area, you probably remember the punt return, the wall punt return, and when it worked, it really worked very well. But he also assembled a great group of assistants: Roger Ludwig, Bob Stoltz, John Maurer, Mr. Strong. And a separate note, I mentioned we were at the game the other night. I get the feeling that the current group of coaches is just like we had back then. I think they know what they're doing, because we meaning the kids Friday, played very good on both sides of the ball, looked like they were very well coached. But anyway, back to Bob Sullivan, the biggest thing I think he did for us is he made us believe in ourselves. We had no idea how tiny we were. We were outweighed, 30, 40 pounds probably to the man all the way on the team. But we believed in our mind we were quicker, we were faster, and we were smarter. And as Bill mentioned, we were 7-2 that year. We did lose 2 games, not as an excuse, but as a reality. We had 11 of 22 starters out for 2 games. We felt we would have won all the games if we would have had everybody intact, but we didn't. For hockey, it was Andre Ballou. And Andre came when I was a junior. It was John Bolin the first 2 years. And if you recall, Andre came from Canada, and things were done quite a bit different in Canada. So he introduced a number of things, one of which was 2-a-day practices. Well, you did that for football, but you never did that for hockey. He introduced 2-a-day practices. He also educated us a little bit on finding your man. What is finding your man? Well, in hockey, occasionally there's skirmishes, and in Canada or the pros or whatever, whenever there's a skirmish or AKA fight, you go and grab your man. So he would train us. We would spend time in practice going and finding another jersey and grabbing onto it. For us it was kind of a different thing. At any rate, I could say anybody that played for him here, and there are probably a few, you got to push yourself. You got to push yourself. That was his big saying. So our senior year, as I indicated, we took second in the state, and I think at that time it was the independent tournament. The next year, they won state. I know Les Larson's here somewhere. The year after that, they came in second in the state again, and the year after that, they won the state again. So 2 out of 3 years after my senior year, they won the state tournament. And it is my belief that Andre at that point in time, maybe he was the catalyst. That's what really when the dynasty at Hill Hockey kind of started in that area. And from there it got better. Today, of course, we couldn't even beat a JV team currently, but back in those days we could. So I also believe that Andre had a big impact on the evolution of high school hockey in Minnesota. I think it changed quite a bit, and I think he was a key part of that. So once again, I would like to thank everybody for this incredible honor. I am thrilled to be a member of this great group of people, and I'm going to be quiet because lunch is going to come sooner if I be quiet. So thank you.
Our next inductee, 1979 graduate of Hill Murray High School, 4-year basketball participant, 2 years B squad and 2 years varsity. Junior year, St. Paul City champions and 4 AA section champions. 4th place finish in state while playing center. Awarded most improved. Senior year, St. Paul City conference champions. Nominated by St. Paul Dispatch for Prep Athlete of the Week. Named to the WCCO Radio All-State High School Team of the Year. 3-year varsity letter winner in softball. Played pitcher and first base. Varsity letter winner in track senior year. Long jump and high jump. Qualified in city championship as a high jumper. Honor roll, student council, and Ma Pioneer. Attended St. Cloud State University and played basketball from 1979 to 1982. Sarah Edel.
Okay. Good morning. I stand before you today deeply honored and incredibly humbled to be inducted into the Hill Murray Athletic Hall of Fame. Being back here floods me with memories, not just of games played or titles won, but of laughter, connection, and the unforgettable spirit of this community. This recognition isn't just about individual achievements. It's a reflection of every person who has shaped me, supported me, and stood by me along the way. This honor belongs to all of you. To whoever nominated me, thank you. And to the Hall of Fame committee, I know how much thought and effort goes into this process. I'm so grateful for this recognition. A special thank you to my classmate and friend, Judy Schwartz, for organizing today's events, and everybody else that was help organizing. And then Judy's, your tireless work as a director of alumni. You keep the HM spirit alive for all of us, no matter how far away we go. Congratulations to my fellow inductees to be selected among such talented and accomplished athletes and a teacher and a coach. It's an honor that I don't take lightly. I'm proud to share this moment with each of you. To my coaches, you were more than teachers of sport, you were builders of character. To Barb Anderson, thank you for seeing something in me back in my sophomore year. You gave me the fundamentals, the push during that pivotal summer before my junior year, and most importantly, the confidence to try out for varsity. To Coach Bill Wold, your lessons went far beyond the basketball court. You instilled in us a sense of discipline, effort, and integrity. Thanks for all that you did for me and my family. Those values have stayed with me through college, my career, and everyday life. To Brother Francis, our beloved athletic director, thank you for your quiet dedication in coordinating the logistics and your unwavering support. You showed up for us time and time again. To all my teammates, Emmy, Tess, Monica, Pat, Connie, Molly, Mary, and Tracy, thank you. And then again, many of you are Hall of Fame inductees yourselves. It means a lot that you're here to share this with me. What I remember most vividly aren't just the victories, but the friendships. Hanging out at each other's houses, doing homework together, the chats to and from practice, and indulging in ice cream at Bridgman's and then Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor, and the bus rides to and from games. These are the moments that are etched deepest in my heart. This honor is much yours as it is mine. Every win, hard-fought comeback, every tough loss, we lived it all together. That bond is something no scoreboard can capture. It's forever. Hill Murray gave me more than an education or an athletic opportunity. It gave me a sense of belonging, a place where I felt seen, supported, and challenged me to grow. To my family, there truly aren't words big enough. Dee, my brother John, my nephew Marcel, my cousin Chris, all of Dee's family's brothers were very supportive, and then one brother, David, who flew in from Green Bay to be here. And yes, we made him promise not to wear any Packers gear while he was here. Thank you for your unwavering love. My love for basketball started at St. Pascal's, where Coach Bennett introduced me not only to game, but competition in both basketball and track. That's where the spark was lit. I still remember receiving a basketball from my parents as a gift for my confirmation. It wasn't just a ball, it was a beginning. My brother went to Harding High School and came to many of our games. Your support, John, was a huge part of this journey. When I told him about this induction, the first thing he remembered was sitting in the stands talking to his brother Larry and how he treasured that. My dad worked the 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. shift and was battling an undiagnosed illness during my sophomore year, so he only made it to a couple of games. My mom didn't come at all until my junior year, when my brother convinced her to attend a game against Harding. I didn't know she was there until I heard a voice near the bench say, "That's my daughter, that's my girl right there." I didn't even know who she was talking to, but I knew it was her. A moment that stayed with me, and she came to every game after that. My parents are so proud of me today. I carry their spirit with me always. My mom met Molly's mom, Betty, at games, and they became dear friends. Betty even came to my college games. Their friendship, too, is a part of this legacy. Our junior year, we won the city conference and regional championship against a memorable game, North St. Paul, and we made it to the state tournament. We won the first game and then narrowly lost to Regina and then finished fourth. My dad watched it from home on TV because he was still ill to come to the tournament. Right after the tournament, he was in the VA hospital and passed away 2 weeks later. Afterward, my mom told me that she might not be able to at home, and then one of those life-changing turning points, the lasting mark, happened. Mr. Johnson called my mom to say that the Father's Club had awarded me a scholarship. I'll never forget how touched and excited my mom and I were. That act of generosity made all the difference. As part of the scholarship, I worked in the main office with Mrs. Aschenbrenner, who taught me valuable office skills. And during the school year, I worked in the cafeteria during half my lunch. These experiences taught me the importance of giving back. Our senior year, we were ranked top in the state. We won the city conference and Twin City championship. Unfortunately, we lost in regions and didn't make it back to state. But what a ride it was. Some special memories, large number of fans that attended our games, sharing a room with Pat during state tournament, Molly and I going to basketball camp to St. Olaf's, conversations with Tess to and from practice and doing homework together. And during our senior year, Connie and I drove up to St. Cloud State and stayed with her sister, Lori. At the time, that was one way to get basketball scholarships. So Connie went on to Augustana, and I never heard anything about the basketball scholarship, but I remember Lori taking us out for pizza. She was studying criminal justice at St. Cloud State, and her guidance inspired me to attend St. Cloud State. Years later, we reconnected through our careers in law enforcement, and today she's one of my dearest friends. After graduation, I was excited, but when it came time to move in, I had a moment of freshman panic. Long line of cars, I said to my mom, "I can't do this, take me home." Without missing a beat, my mom said, "We can't move. We are stuck in 3 lanes of parked cars. But when we do, we are moving you in." Well, Betty, who came with us, was riding shotgun in the front seat. She turned to me and calmly encouraged me, and of course, I quickly got over it. That's what love looks like. And then during the first 2 weeks at St. Cloud, I met a few basketball players from rival high school, and we decided to try out for JV. Before the official tryouts, the varsity team invited us to captain's practice, no coaches, just us. One day, a varsity player told me that the head coach wanted to see me. Nervous, I walked into their office and I walked out with a scholarship. I ran back to my dorm and called my mom. We cried. I was just hoping to make JV, and here I was not only on varsity, but I started as a freshman and was a top rebounder. That never would have happened without the coaching, teaching, encouragement, and support I received here at Hill Murray. To Dee, my rock and constant companion at Hill Murray basketball, football, hockey games, and theater, your presence in my life has meant everything. The acceptance and love we've experienced here together from the Hill Murray community is truly special. To those who've passed, my parents, Dee's mom, Gloria, my aunt, Frances, my cousins, Colleen, Lorraine, and Joe. To Irene Punsack, we treasured the times we spent with her and the milestones we celebrated together. We also look forward to seeing Mrs. Klein and Mr. Aschenbrenner at events, and catching up was always a highlight. Their warmth, kindness, and encouragement meant so much to me and left a lasting impression. I feel their presence with me today. To Mary Zimmer, thank you for generously sharing your dad with me at father-daughter's dance. You had the chance to be by yourself, and yet they asked me to go with them. That meant a lot. That act of kindness stays with me. To my friends who are here today, John and Joe, Steve and Mary, thank you. Words cannot capture how much this means to me, and classmate Monty also. To our friends that we reconnected with, Tracy and Pete, Peggy and Dean, Barb and Bob, thank you for being a part of our cherished celebrations and for including us in your lives, for letting us cheer on your children as you once cheered us on. To Mr. Johnson, I have fond memories of being in your homeroom my sophomore year in the class trip to Hibbing, where Coach Wold also came along. When I see you and Pat at various events, you always ask, "Where's Dee?" A little gesture that means so much. That's the heartbeat of the Hill Murray community. We stay connected, we show up for another, and we keep lifting each other up. Hill Murray gave me a solid foundation. I went on to earn my undergraduate and advanced degrees and had the privilege of serving in law enforcement for 26 years. It was a career that demanded critical thinking, compassion, and strength. I also achieved a lifelong dream teaching at the college level where I now shape the next generation. To all of you who stood by me with open arms and open hearts, thank you. Your love, friendships, and acceptance have meant the world to me. This plaque, this incredible honor belongs to all of you. You helped build the path that I walked on. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Go Pioneers.
Our fourth inductee, 1984 graduate of Hill Murray High School, 4 years football participant, 3 years varsity, all-conference sophomore year, St. Paul Dispatch Athlete of the Week, conference champs in 1981, state tournament appearance in 1983, 4 years varsity letter winner in hockey, all-conference in sophomore, junior, and senior years, senior year captain, state tournament appearances in 1983 and 1984, state champion 1983, undefeated season 28-0, third all-time leading scorer in city conference history, participant in maroon and gold senior all-star tournament, participant in baseball 4 years, 3 years varsity, state tournament participant in 1982, 1984 Hill Murray Male Athlete of the Year Award, 4-year participant in hockey as a student athlete and at St. Thomas College. I think his name's Tony Corella.
First off, I'd like to congratulate the other inductees. It's a privilege to be up here with you guys. I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee, Judy Schwartz, President Melissa Dan, Athletic Director Johnny Pohl, Coach Lechner. This is truly an honor, and I am extremely humbled by it. When I got the call from Coach Lechner, I didn't really know what he was calling about. So I thought, I don't know, maybe he was looking for a new pickleball partner or some guy to fill in. I mean, I wasn't sure. But when he, told me what he was calling about, I was extremely grateful and surprised. It's truly an honor. I'm a Harding kid from the East Side. My parents were Johnson grads. I was a really athletic kid. Grew up at Battle Creek Playground. Played a lot of my youth sports there. Played hockey at the Harding Area Hockey Association, and my dad had a big role in a sense that there wasn't a day that went by that we didn't play catch or throw the football around or driving me to hockey, coaching me, whatever it was. He was always there, and that meant a lot to me. As I got older, we started going to a lot of the high school hockey games at the auditorium downtown St. Paul, and we go watch Hill Murray play. And I remember watching guys like Steve Griffith and Billy Schaffhauser and Benny Beldy, and I'm thinking, God, I'd hope to be a part of that, one day. And 8th grade rolled around, and I said to my mom and dad, I said, I'd like to go to Hill Murray. And they were all on board with it. We thought it was great, and so they signed me up. And, I remember the first week of school, I go into my math class, and who happens to be my math teacher but Coach Lechner. So I don't wish this upon anybody, but I'm a terrible student, and math did not come easy to me. And I think for the first 2 months, all he said to me was, Tony, sit down. Tony, keep your eyes on your own paper. And that was a thankless job. Lex, I never apologized to you for that. I know that had to be brutal. But my freshman year, we, as far as hockey goes, we had a good team. We made it to section semifinals, I think, against North. And we're playing at Aldridge. So we take a bus from Aldridge, from school to Aldridge Arena. And I remember pulling into the parking lot. We couldn't even pull in. It was so crowded. So we get up to the rink, and we need a police escort to get into the arena. And as I'm walking in, what's going through my head is I'm like, this is a lot different than playing in a Bantam game at Oscar Johnson at 9:30 on a Sunday. I mean, it was unbelievable, the crowd, and just the electricity that went with it. My sophomore year, we weren't that good. We were young. I can't remember who we lost to in sections. We really didn't advance. But our junior year, we knew we had a good team. We just didn't know really how good until we played up in Hibbing. I think it was probably the second or third week in December. And we played them up at the Memorial Coliseum, and that place was packed. And I just remember going out for the opening face-off, me and Todd Norman and Mark Kreuss, and then they send their top line out, and it's, their centerman lines up against Normie, and the two wingers line up against me and Mark, and Hibbing's two wingers stand about 6'4", 190, and Kreuser and I are about pushing 5'4", 150. And I thought, man, this is going to be a tough night. But we ended up beating them 7-2, and it wasn't even close. So that, I think people kind of took notice after that game. And then throughout the year, we were scrimmaging every top team in the state, and we didn't lose. We didn't lose a scrimmage all year. I know some of you have heard that, a lot of the former inductees and whatnot, but it was an amazing year. So we get down to our last game before sections, and this game has become something of legend now. I know it's been told a number of times, but we're playing down in John Marshall, and we're losing 7-2. And it's the end of the second period. Our goalie, Timmy Gallish, is struggling, so coach pulls him out, puts in Mike Schweitz. We finish out, we survive the period, and then we get into the locker room, and we're sitting there kind of dejected, and through the heat vents, you guys have heard it before, but we hear the John Marshall guys going, "What's with these guys? What's with the hype? These guys suck," And I think we were more shocked that we actually heard them say that than anything. So anyway, we go out next period, and I think we scored 6 goals in 8 minutes, and we ended up winning 8-7. Now, if you talk to some of the other guys on the team, we scored 6 goals in 2 minutes. It just depends on who you talk to. The story is taken on a life of its own. So we're ramping up to the state tournament, and Don Riley, this popular sports columnist, some of the older people in here might remember him. I do. I'm one of the older people now. But this is an article he wrote before the tournament and one he wrote after the tournament. And this is what he said. He said, "Hill-Murray reminds me of a tank of hungry sharks when they smell blood. Give it an opening and it will tear you to shreds with 6 scores and more speed than Whitney Stables. But I can't see it winning the state title for a variety of reasons. They would have to win 28 straight, and that has never happened in prep history." So we win the state tournament. This is what he writes afterward. "Have you heard of teams that won the game when the national anthem was played? Hill-Murray was one of these. There's an old Russian saying, you don't pass with your stick, you pass with your heart. Sharing, unselfishness, not a hot dog in the whole outfit. Terry Skripek made me look like a turkey with 28 straight victories because at the time, I said it couldn't be done." And that kind of summed up our team. We were unselfish, disciplined, we worked hard, and it was an unbelievable run. So my senior year, we kind of carried that string out to 33-0, and we finally lost to White Bear. We made it back to the state tournament, but we lost to Johnson and Burnsville. It was pretty much uneventful. But during this era, Hill-Murray wasn't just dominant in hockey. I mean, we were dominant in all sports. My sophomore year in football, we were city conference champs. We tied for the title with St. Thomas Academy. And we had some really good guys on that team. One of them's here, Pat Sauer, Richie Horning, Leonard Biagini, Andy Carlin, who is a big lineman that I would run behind. No one would see me behind him. And Coach Freaky was just a great guy. I love the guy. Coach Lex always reminds me of a story about this story, but we'd be at practice and we'd be on the sidelines, and Coach Scry is always thinking hockey, right? He's always going on in his mind. So he was on the sideline with me and Coach Lechner, and he's drawing up like a power play or a new penalty kill during football practice, and Coach Fricky looks over and he goes, "You better not be talking about hockey again." So that was kind of a thing. It just carried on. But my senior year in football, we were the first team to make it to the state football tournament, and we had some really good guys. One of them's here tonight, Mike Roth, Dennis Ryan, Mike Johnson, Mike Niklowski, Teddy Bolio. Yeah, just a good group. I think to Red Wing in the first. I think, I'm not sure, but a really good team, and that just carried into baseball. And we lost to Cretin my sophomore year in the state tournament, and we had some good guys, and Nicky Beldy and Jeff Bourne. I don't think Tommy Quinlan was old enough yet, but he was on one of those teams. But junior year, I think we even had a better team if it wasn't for a little mooning incident by the seniors, which I know some of you might have heard. Anyway, it's the last day of school, and we're practicing. And one of the guys drives by, he's honking, he was driving with his girlfriend, and one of the guys, the seniors, decides to moon him. And then before you know it, there's 4 or 5 guys mooning the cars going by. So I think one of the teachers drove by, zipped back up to school, and told Brother Francis what was going on. And that was pretty much the end of our season. We didn't move on from there. I had the opportunity to be coached by a lot of really good coaches, and I just wanted to say thanks. You had a big impact on my life. Coach Skrypek, Coach Lechner, Coach Fricky, Coach Conway, Coach Wold, Brother Francis, who was the glue that held everything together. Without him, I don't know if anything would have really functioned without him. That's the impact he had. But I just want to thank you for making me a better athlete, but more importantly, a better person that I carry with me to this day. I got a big group here today that I would like to acknowledge. I'm lucky enough to have my mom and dad, my sisters, nieces and nephews, brother-in-laws. I just want to tell you how much it means to me to have you guys here. I love you guys. Lastly, the 3 most important people in my life: my wife Erica, my daughter Ava, my son Rocco, which coincidentally it's his 22nd birthday today, and there you go. He probably wishes he was with his buddies somewhere watching the football game, instead of hearing Dad's stories again. But you guys are my world. I love you. And in closing, I would just like to thank the Hall of Fame committee again, and Judy Schwartz for all your work. Hill-Murray High School, just for making this day a special and memorable day for me and my family. This is truly an honor, and I thank you.
Coincidentally, I had the pleasure of coaching and being part of the staff with Tony for all 3 sports, for football, hockey, baseball. An outstanding young man, a better character. Scry would ask me once in a while, how's he doing in algebra? He's good, and we need his eligibility. So he did just fine. And Tone, yes, you were looking around a little bit, but all good. Our next inductee, 2004 graduate of Hill-Murray School, 4-year letter winner in basketball, senior year team captain and all-conference honorable mention, participated in all-star games senior year. Sophomore and senior years, section champions and state tournament appearance. 4-year letter winner in softball, senior year team captain and all-star team participant. Sophomore, all-conference honorable mention. All-conference freshman, junior, and senior year. Freshman year, all-state honorable mention. Senior year, all-state selection. Hill-Murray head JV and assistant varsity as far as a basketball coach from 2010 to 2015 here at Hill-Murray. 3 section championships and 3 state appearances. Hill-Murray Female Athlete of the Year Award and Athena Award winner. Gina Zek.
Thank you for the introduction. First, thank you to the selection committee, and congratulations to the other inductees. Growing up, it wasn't a matter of if I was going to Hill-Murray, it was a matter of when. I watched my 3 older siblings attend and couldn't wait to be a pioneer. When I was in 4th grade, my excitement to become a pioneer only intensified as I was old enough to start attending the Hill-Murray girls basketball camp. The camp was the highlight of my summer every year, and I have very fond memories of the camp counselors who were current varsity players, signing my camp t-shirt and running up to them and having my whole back full of signatures. Being an athlete at Hill was a dream come true. I'm truly honored by this recognition. To say this award means a lot to me would be an understatement. There's no way I'd be here without the support of many, starting with my family. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for your sacrifices for not only sending me, but 4 other siblings to Hill Murray. You understood the importance of a great education, being a part of a great school community, and did everything you could to make it possible. Mom, thank you for your determination, work ethic, and selflessness. You were always there to celebrate the wins and help console me on the losses. Dad, thank you for sharing your passion for sports with me, the countless hours spent practicing, including batting practice before school, sometimes after school, and also trying to teach me how to shoot a basketball with spin on it. It's still a problem to this day. I've never figured that out. So, to my siblings, Nick, Lisa, Tony, and Casey, you were all athletes, and you let me play and tag along. Our stickball games in the driveway, horse, hot box in the backyard, and American Gladiators in the basement are probably some of the most competitive experiences of my life, and clearly impacted my development and drive. Thank you for teaching me early on how to be a part of a team and what it means to be a good teammate. As a student, I was blessed with some incredible and caring teachers and staff, including Kelly Barbato, Tiffany DeZiel, and Judy Bartel, just to name a few. Thank you for being great role models and supporting me in the classroom and the field and teaching me the importance of service. Thank you to my teammates who helped push me and who also taught me about being a part of a team. I met Dana, who's actually in the audience, freshman year at volleyball, and we became instant friends, and her family has become my extended family. She has been there ever since, including on Saturday morning practices in high school, where I had to buy donuts because I fouled out the night before. That happened a lot. Finally, I'd like to thank the coaches, Ron Snaza, who saw my potential as a freshman and was willing to put me on the varsity softball team and give me opportunities to excel. He always kept softball fun but competitive. Coach Sherman, thank you for your continuous support. You've always been one of my biggest cheerleaders, whether it's been on the court or in life. You've always encouraged me to dig deeper and have shown me that I'm capable of more than I think. I graduated a long time ago, and I loved my athletic experience, but I'm more grateful for the lifelong relationships it has produced. One of the biggest lessons I learned here was the importance of service and giving back, and I still carry that with me today. I had the privilege to coach at Hill for a few years, and I'm grateful to have coached some amazing people that are already in the Hall of Fame. I now officiate high school and college basketball and enjoy giving back to the game in a new and important role. Thank you for helping nurture that little fourth grader at basketball camp and helping me become the person she is today. Again, thank you all, and go Pioneers.
I should have known a long time ago that Gina was going to be in the Hall of Fame. A super quick story. I taught Phi Ed class as well, besides Tony when I left we went over. Anyway, I had Gina in one of my first classes. And, those were the days where you tried to rotate and make sure everybody get to be the captains and choose the teams. But it didn't matter who was the captain that day. We were playing basketball, floor hockey, whatever it was. Everybody would pick Gina first. And so we should have known right then that you were going to get a plaque someday, so congratulations. Last but not least, physical education teacher at Hill Murray School from 2006 to 2020. Department Chair 2015 to 2020. 2020 Hill Murray Teacher of Excellence Award. Hill Murray Head Boys Basketball Coach 2008 to 2014. Most wins by a Hill Murray Boys Basketball coach with a record of 106 and 78. 4 seasons ranked in the top 20 of the 3A division. 2011 undefeated conference record of 16-0 and 23-6 overall. 2011, 2012, and 2013 teams led conference in three-point shooting. 3-year varsity assistant baseball coach with conference championship, section, and state participation. Minnesota High School Boys Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame in 2022. Multiple volunteer services at Hill Murray and surrounding communities. Too many to put on a plaque. Our sixth inductee, Dick Zoni.
So happy to share the podium with Dave and John and Sarah, Tony, and Gina. It's an honor to be up here. Thank you to the Hall of Fame Committee for considering me. I'd first like to thank my wife of 47 years. She knows what it's like when a coach walks in the house after a game. You lost. You won. She knows by the first look in your face of what happened, the outcome of the game. My sons, Pete and Charlie, and their wives, Andrea and Melissa. My daughter, Molly, that's here today. And if you played, if I had the pleasure of coaching you or teaching with you or having you be a parent of one of my players, would you please stand? Come on, I know there's some. Yes. All right, you people are the reason why I'm up here. Without the people around you leading you in certain directions and helping you along the way, you don't get to be in a place that I'm at right now. So thank you for everybody that I've coached with, taught with, administrators that I've had. You know, thank you very much for everything that you've done to support me throughout the years. It's been an honor. Thank you. Okay, we're going to divide the room in half. So this half, when you get the cue, you're going to say, "Run, Tony, run." Ready? Run, Tony, run. All right, this side now, when I give you the cue, you're going to say, "Home." Ready? Home. Okay. It's the last class that I have before my mom's funeral. Okay, so I'm looking at, as a FIA teacher, you got to, figure in things like, okay, they got to change and get ready for the next class and everything else. And we're playing wiffle ball. And Tony's batting, great football player, had a hard time hitting a wiffle ball. But Sally's catching, a dancer, hard time catching, but, she could dance. So I'm pitching and I'm throwing the ball to where the bat's supposed to go. Not to where he's swinging, where he's supposed to be swinging. So it's like 2 minutes left in class. And I'm thinking, come on, hit the ball, pitch after pitch. So finally, bam, he smacks it. Run, Tony, run. Okay, ball goes way down to the other end of the field house. And, the score's tied. Everybody's yelling. And then he's rounding second, and then, okay, he's coming around second, and I can see things coming, and here's a great cutoff, and all of a sudden, run, Tony, run. And the throw comes into the plate. Sally catches it. Tony goes gliding with Sally. They go tumbling around. I'm rolling on the floor, laughing my butt off. And Sally goes, "Mr. G!" And she holds up the ball, and she hung on. What did I do? I had to call him out. I had to call him out. So that was the last class before my mom's funeral. Okay, my mom's favorite color was blue. Okay, and before she died, I told her, "Mom, please just go. I'm going to go to chapel every day at Hill Murray. I'll go there every day." So my first day back after the funeral, I come in, and Gina, right where you're sitting is where I sat every day. I came to chapel every day, and I sat right now. My mom's favorite color is what? Blue. Okay, I sat right in Gina's seat, and right next to me is a blue balloon. How do you figure? Well, I lost it for about a half hour, and I'm crying my eyes out, and I got class in about a half hour. So, thing was, we talk about the spirit of Hill Murray. My last class, the last thing that happened was an unbelievable thing just before, we're going to have my mom's funeral and whatnot, and then I come back, and then what happens? Last time I checked, Hill Murray's colors weren't blue, right? They're green. So, unbelievable situation, and it was a pleasure to teach here for 15 years. Coaching-wise, you kind of wonder when a team is going to get it. And it's our first year coaching here, and we just lost to Johnson in the semifinals. They were one of the top teams in the state, and we took them right down to the wire. Great game. And we're leaving the locker room, and Vinny says to me, "Giz, they're waiting for us." I'm going, "What do you mean?" And I look out, and here's a whole bunch of parents waiting at the door before we get to our bus. And I'm going, oh, Bahama. So we get there, and we start walking towards the doors, and they start clapping. We just got through losing a game, and they're clapping. So we get on the bus, we come back to the locker room, and we're talking with the players. We're talking in the hallway, and we're talking, and this went on for a half hour. And I'm jingling my keys like, okay, guys, it's time to go, you know, trying to do some things. And then I finally said to them, guys, why are we talking so long here? And the captain, Peter McEwen, said, Coach, we want to have practice tomorrow. Well, we just lost in the semifinals of the section, and they want to have practice the next day. Well, so we said, okay, seniors, you're going to scrimmage the juniors and sophomores, and we'll just put the time on the clock, and we'll scrimmage. So talk about heart and soul, and did they get it? Yeah, I guess they got it, because if you can lose your last game of the season and the kids want to have practice the next day, that was a great feeling. It was a great feeling. Fast forward now to the last game that I coached here. We're down by 7 with 25 seconds left to go. We come back, we're down by 2, and Simley's shooting 1 free throw. All right, so they're shooting a free throw. They miss it. With about 7 seconds left. We get the rebound. Our kid comes down and throws up a shot at half court. And as soon as he shot the ball, 9 people stopped except the one Hill Murray kid. He got the rebound inside the three-point line, threw it up at the buzzer. It banked off the board and went in. Well, the refs don't call anything. And I'm going, holy buckets here, what the heck? So they get together. There's no replay. So they counted the basket. They counted the basket. So 9 people stopped, 5 from the other team, 4 of the Hill Murray kids, but 1 Hill Murray kid didn't stop. And because he didn't stop, he actually put the ball in at the buzzer. We ended up losing in double overtime. But anyways, it was a great testament to him and the spirit, again, of what Hill Murray is all about. Never quit. And they didn't. One more story here. We're 14-0 in conference, and I come up to Jimmy Remke's here. He remembers. I asked Jimmy, I said, so we're 14-0, we got the conference clinched. What are we going to do the last 2 games? Jimmy said, Coach, we want to go 16-0. Okay. So we played Richfield, beat them 51-50. They didn't get a shot off in the last 10 seconds. We played terrible, but we won. Then we played St. Thomas Academy. Can't ever beat the Cadets enough, even though we like them. They're one of our rivals. And we beat them at our place to go 16-0. And as we're shaking hands, one of the St. Thomas coaches kicks the door going into the locker room. I mean, he just kicked the door. And we all turned around, and I said, remember that, because we're going to play them again. And sure enough, we had to play them again in the sections, and we beat them 3 times in a row. That 16-0 team that won the conference won a couple really close games, and one which involved beating Tartan at the buzzer on a tip-in at the buzzer. We had the pleasure of beating Tartan 4 times in a row. The other coach was not very happy each time we beat him. Never made it to the state tournament, which is something that I was hoping and was always a goal of mine, is to get a boys basketball team to the state tournament. But we did have a great support from faculty, fans, alumni. It was a great situation all the way around. And there's a couple of people that are the reason why I'm up here. Sue here. She hired me, and I probably had the shortest conversation with an administrator in my life. In 2012, I wanted to retire as a coach, so I set up a meeting, and I went in her office, and she said, okay, well, Dick Gazzoni, what do you want to talk about? And I said, well, I'd like to retire. She said, well, we can't let you do that. Okay, Dr. Paul, I'll just get right back to class. And that was it. But through her leadership, we had some great years. And Chuck Briscoe, who's here, who was principal, we had a rough year the year before as a faculty, and what he did during workshops, I really wouldn't call them workshops, they were more like laugh shops. We had so many people that came in and had different kind of talks throughout the workshops where we were laughing as a faculty more than I've ever laughed in my life. We had so many people that he had to just boost up our morale and boost up our spirits to get ready for the school year. So Sue and Chuck, thank you very much. Tim Ryan and Julie Jorison, I can't leave out you two great colleagues that, you know, I had the pleasure of working with you. And Tim, I think you were on the selection committee when I applied for the job. And the year before, I was a level 4 EBD at a level 4 EBD school. Anybody here watch The Pit? Okay, that school was minus the surgery. You know, chaotic, pretty chaotic. And when I heard Hillmurray had an opening, I applied. And Tim and Julie were great people to work with. My sister Mary and Dave are here. Mary sang the national anthem at our first home basketball game. And when I came up to her, I said, oh, Mary, here's the mic. She said, I don't need it. And she didn't need it. She belted out the anthem, and they're here today. And we're members, our family were members of Annunciation. We all went to Annunciation K through 8. And obviously the tragedy there was something that was, you know, felt deep in our hearts. So Hillmurray's a great school, great people. If I left anybody out, I'm really sorry, but I really appreciate all the people that I had to work with, had to coach. It was a great 15 years here. Can I reapply with this new fitness center and everything else you got going? Okay, thank you, committee, and thank you for everybody here today. It's great to be back on campus, so thank you very much.
Mr. Gazzoni just asked if he could keep the plaque. Yes, you can. You can get to keep it. By the way, for all the 6 inductees, your plaque will be all put together. Your individual plaques are put up in the field house area, up by the going out towards the stadium. So that's the 14 years will be up there, to be there forever, and it's quite an honor. In closing, thank you to Judy Schwartz, to Lizzie Frederick for coordinating today's event, to Father John Utek for being our presider today, to Chef Matt, which we're going to meet next. He prepared the meal for you guys, and the staff from the Flick Catering preparing our brunch today. Most importantly, a heartfelt congratulations to our 6 new inductees and their families. Great job. Thank you for taking time out of your day for this great event. And we appreciate the attendance and the distance traveled by some of you, even though you might have come from Packerland. It's okay. We'll deal with it. No, thank you. And then with that said, we're going to join over. The bathrooms, you know where they are, and we're ready. Okay? We're ready for brunch in the cafeteria. Have some conversation and stay for a while, and have a great day. Thank you.